All right, what is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? Welcome back here today to another mock draft reaction video. I just dropped my new updated mock draft after March Madness on my SROS channel. So today I'm going to react to Jonathan Wasserman's mock draft here at Bleacher Report because it's definitely cool to see just like what other people think about what this draft could look like. If you guys want to see any other one of these, let me know. I don't think ESPN or like The Athletic has dropped a new one. I will say Bleacher Report drops more mock drafts than anybody you can ever think of. Like, it is very constant. Good thing, bad thing. Either way, Jonathan Wasserman is their main draft guy, and I'm excited to react to this today. I think he also does like player comps as well. So we'll start off with the Indiana Pacers getting the #1 pick. I don't think he doesn't mention that they end up running a lottery sim. So the Pacers don't have the worst record. That is the Wizards. So we'll see what ends up happening here. But either way, the Pacers take AJ DeBonta with the #1 pick. It's a hot take for me, but I still think like their best course of action with the #1 pick would be Darren Peterson. I do think Darren Peterson is still the best player in this draft until proven, until proven otherwise, but it's just the injuries that like I think derailed what could have been a special season. Because you look up the advanced analytics from Darren Peterson, and this man like rivaled some of the best freshman seasons we have seen in recent college basketball history, and he was basically playing with like horrible soft tissue issues, cramping. He like basically thought he was getting hospitalized at one point, and he didn't have maybe the best situation at Kansas. It's not discrediting AJ. I think I'm prone to this bias as well too, because Peterson was my #1 guy when I was watching him in high school last year or in the summer, like with my summer scouting. And then it's hard to like, I didn't see anything from him where I wanted to back off, and there were some disappointing Peterson games. Sometimes the shot wasn't falling, but I believe he's going to be an elite 3-point shooter at the NBA level. I think he's a more engaged defender than AJ DeBonta. You can't really go wrong with this top 3. It's not like you're taking a massive swing here. It's not like this is like Reese Shea from the 2024 draft where I'm like, all right, I don't agree with him at #1. I would take Alex Sarr. I would even take like Reed Shepherd over Zachary Reese Shea at the end of the day. And the Pacers get DeBonta, who immediately slides in on that perimeter with Nembhard or Neesmith and fits basically that Benedict Mathurin role, but with way more upside and is way more talented coming out of college and should be at the NBA level. And if he's actually going to be Jaylen Brown, I mean, that's a future Finals MVP, a Supermax guy, and an All-NBA, probably first-team guy this year as well. So Pacers fans, NBA, like, let me know down below. Do you take DeBonta with the #1 pick if you're the Pacers? We'll see. So number 2, the Wizards take Darren Peterson. This should not sway their decision, but do you take like Peterson now because you have Anthony Davis? No, like because of Boozer and his playing time. You go with the best player available, especially for a team like Washington. His pro comp is Anthony Edwards. It's funny. Like, comps are so funny too, because it's like, I'd rather have Anthony Edwards than Jaylen Brown, so why don't you take that guy ahead? It's not 1-1. It's not apples to apples. So Peterson goes to Washington, in which he would be in that backcourt with Trae Young for at least next year. I wonder if you try to develop Peterson into more of a point guard role long term, because then you think you can have him and Trey Johnson in that backcourt going forward. Because Peterson, I just mentioned, I think could be a good defender at the NBA level, so you can kind of help out Trey Johnson's defense. You'd have Keyshawn George or Bilal Coulibaly, who I think are pretty good defenders for their ages, and then you have AD and Sarr in the front court. That can work. I just don't really know what their long-term future is going to be for like half the guys on the roster. Like, is Bilal going to get a long-term extension? Is Bub Carrington going to crack the rotation next year? How high are they on Trey Johnson? There's a lot of questions in Washington. Like, is AD going to play more than next year? Is Trae Young going to play more than next year? So many questions the Wizards have going forward. And you just got to take the guy with the highest, I think, upside here for this team. You can't go wrong with Boozer. I think Boozer and Sarr would absolutely work. And I think the amount of lobs Sarr could catch from Boozer and both these guys can space the floor in the modern NBA works. But this is a good pick here, I would say, for the Washington Wizards going forward. I think they got to change their head coach. Like, I don't think maybe Brian Keefe is in a bad X's and O's guys, and he got dealt a terrible hand, right? Like, he inherited one of the worst rosters, a team that was expected to tank. So are they going to give him another year? Do they view Brian Keefe as like the early age Mark Daigneault in OKC? I don't think so, but you never know like what Will Dawkins is going to think of. I think he has like those OKC roots or Sam Presti roots, part of his tree. Is there a good developmental coach out there that you're going to like? Like, can you find the next Charles Lee, Jordy Fernandez, one of the young guys? Maybe it's like a guy like Will Hardy, Joe Mazzulla, one of the top assistants. So next up, we have the Brooklyn Nets going Cameron Boozer. Not really surprising there. Do you have an argument for like Caleb Wilson going in the first round? I don't really do. Or first round, geez, sorry. In the top 3, I wouldn't, but I could see the appeal of what he could provide defensively. Boozer, though, I think Brooklyn is a great fit for him, where he's going to get majority of the touches next year. He gets a great movement shooter in Michael Porter Jr. by his side. He gets an all right rim protector, good athlete in Nick Claxton by his side out of the gate, at least what I'm projecting for now. And he's got some good passers like Nolan Traore, good passer, Ben Saroff, solid passer that you think can develop. Igor Jamin, good movement shooter, good passer. That I think this can work for Boozer at least right away. And you can see the production, you can see the glimmers, the shades of him becoming a star, maybe a superstar in Brooklyn going forward. He's going to put up some monster box score numbers next year in October, in March, if we see him in Brooklyn. And that's what I would do if that's how the draft board fell out. So Utah takes Caleb Wilson at 4. It's not underwhelming for them because Caleb Wilson, like, stud defender out of the gate. He gets to learn from Jaren Jackson Jr., which is pretty freaking sick. The one knock on Caleb Wilson, can he be a consistent jump shooter? Can he be a consistent offensive creator? Or is this guy just like a pseudo Swiss man army knife defender that is just going to be kind of one-dimensional at the NBA level in terms of like catching lobs, dunks, transition running? Can he actually develop a consistent post game at the NBA level? Is he going to be physical enough? I think he can be physical enough, but strong enough to overpower big 4s, big 5s at the NBA level because he likes to work out of the post. He likes to have that post turnaround jumper. He likes to have kind of that hop step inside. It's going to be a lot more difficult to score. It's a lot bigger at the NBA level than it is in ACC conference play. It's a completely different beast. But I think when that tweet comes out of his standing reach and his wingspan and his standing reach, wingspan, height at the combine, it's going to be like, yeah, you can view this guy as a special talent at the NBA level. For Utah, it's like, all right, we have Markkanen, Triple J, Kessler, and Caleb Wilson. You're not really playing all those guys at the same time. I don't think you debate I guess if you really fall in love with Wagler here, you could find the idea of Wagler next to Keontae George. But you also have Ace Bailey, a lot of mouths to feed in Utah. And I don't know if they get a top 3 pick, like, does that mean there's a sell high candidate on this team? Do they trademark it? I don't know. We can get to some interesting parts this offseason when we find out the lottery. I wish the lottery was earlier. Like, I wish the lottery was May 1st. But I guess, yeah, I don't know why it's later. I guess you don't want to, like, distract people from the playoffs right away. Either way, the lottery should be actually, like, this Monday, like, right after the playing tournament ends. So, like, next weekend it should be. So the Sacramento Kings take Darius Huff. I like that as well. That's what I mocked. I think that's what the Kings would do. Do I like the fit for Darius Huff? I don't love it. We have to see if Doug Christie's the head coach next year. I don't mind him with some of the guys that are already on the roster. I'm already assuming no Russ, probably not DeRozan. Monk's there for one more year. I actually think he can have a nice 2-man game with Domantas Sabonis out of the gate. And they got to take the home run swing, and I think that could be Darius Huff going forward. I don't know how he feels about Sacramento. I don't know what Calipari feels about Sacramento, but he can be the culture changer that they need going forward, and that's the home run swing. I like Huff in Sacramento for their point of view, not Huff's point of view, more than like Wagler or Flemings or Mikael Brown I can see, honestly. So 6, we have Atlanta going Keaton Wagler. I like the Kingston Flemings fit a little bit more. I also don't know if I really love the Jamal Murray comp. I think Murray was just a little bit more shiftier. He was quicker. I think he was a better ball handler. Although Wagler showed great flashes this year at Illinois, like he's what you want in the modern day size, like 6'6", 180, will get stronger, can put on weight at the NBA level. He still feels like he's kind of raw in his own right, but he's going to be a very crafty ball handler. I don't think he's got like an elite handle, but I think he's a crafty handle, and I do think he can make something out of nothing. He's got a good decel. He's got a good hop step. He plays off of 2 feet extremely well. I wonder, like, you get him in Atlanta, too, where he should get a lot of good open looks from 3, where, I mean, Nickeil Alexander-Walker might be the next Jalen Brunson off this extension. You have Jalen Johnson, who's got great court vision, and Dyson Daniels is a solid passer. So I think there could be really good open looks for Wagler. You're playing with house money with this pick as well. Like, the Hawks should make the playoffs. I think they're going to get a top 6 seed, and now you're adding a top 6 pick. It's kind of sick. Number 7, we have the Memphis Grizzlies getting Kingston Flemings. I would go Mikael Brown over Kingston Flemings. I think I'm going to end up having Brown on my big board over Flemings. Fox is the pro comp. I do think Flemings is fast, and I do think he's got like a good first step, good twitch, like burst getting to the basket, and I think he has a good touch around the rim. I just wonder what his role is going to be at the NBA level. Like, can he be a good enough passer? Is he a good enough ball handler? I think he was a great spot-up shooter last year at Houston. He had some insanely difficult shots. You get him in. It does feel like more of a Memphis pick, though, than Mikael Brown. It does. And I think he's got more traditional point guard to him than Brown. But I think I can make an argument too that Brown is a better passer out of like pick and rolls and off of like finding guys in flare actions and getting guys coming like off floppy sets or whatever like that. Like he can see the court very well. So could Flemings. I mean, I just like the volume shooting. I think I just like also more in Brown. So Brown goes 8 to Dallas. It's very similar to my mock in some ways. I mean, I didn't have this exact, I think, who did I have going number 1? I think I had AJ going to Sacramento. No, Washington in my mock number 1. Because I can't tell if they did a lottery because right now the Wizards have the worst record, but they got the second pick. Maybe they made this when it wasn't like that. So number 8, you have Dallas going Mikal Brown. That's like the end of the tier here. I like LeBaron and Phylon, but I like all these guys more of a prospect more than Phylon. I think Phylon's a better player today than Mikal Brown. But when you're projecting long-term, Brown is definitely, I think, a better fit in Dallas. Tyler Hero, I don't really like that comp too much. I do think Brown is going to be a better defender. I don't think he's not like a one-dimensional guy like Hero, but I think he's a better passer than Hero. And I do think he's going to be a better finisher around the rim as well. I'm big on Mikal Brown as long as that back checks out going forward. Number 9, Chicago, Braylon Mullins. I don't love it. I would take Braden Burries over him. I would even take like LeBaron Phylon over him at number 9 if I'm Chicago. You could even talk to me about a Dame Mara for this team over Braylon Mullins. You're going to have to be, I think, patient with Mullins, but I do think he's going to be a good shooter one day. I would like for him to be more consistent. I think he's going to get great looks playing off of Josh Giddey and Matas Buzelis. And I guess we just got the exciting whites going forward with that trio. Number 10, we got Milwaukee taking LeBaron Phylon. I'm fine with this as well. I believe I mocked this one. You have a free agent in Kevin Porter Jr., player option. I'll assume he's back. Who the hell knows what's going on with Giannis? It feels like there's a new article, a new report every single day with him, and I'm kind of over it. Just let me know when the extension is. Let me know when the trade is. It's like a Jordan LeBron thing for me now. Like any Jordan LeBron headline, don't even click it. Don't even care. Like you could be talking to me about it, and I'm not even listening. Half the stuff like with Giannis, like I'm just like I don't really care this more or anymore. It's just gotten to that point. So you go best player available. I would go Braden Burries though. I think Burries is slightly better than Phylon, and I just project his role to be more acclimated to the NBA level, and you can utilize him in more sets and more positional lineups and have more versatility than Phylon, who wasn't a terrible defender, but I do think Burries is a better defender. He's maybe not as a good ball handler or self-creator, but I do think you're not getting like a home run swing. Like if Phylon is DeJounte Murray, like that's a good player with the 10th overall pick, but you can make an argument that's not as valuable as somebody like Braden Burries, who they're comping. Damn, Quentin Grimes, low-end comp. Like I feel like they've been very generous with the comps. I didn't know if he was going to get the Derek White comp. So they give him Quentin Grimes. I mean, peak Quentin Grimes, even though he's been kind of disappointing this year. I mean, we haven't really seen Quentin Grimes in like a competitive playoff series since 2023. Like, who could swing a playoff series more? DeJounte Murray, Quentin Grimes. I guess it's still DeJounte, but I think Braden Burries is a little bit better than a Quentin Grimes comp. Braden Burries, I think, is going to be a stud complementary piece at the NBA level. This guy's been a winner, although like they lost in the Final Four, but been a winner this year. He's showed up in big games for them. He's been a great like glue guy for a team where it's like, all right, Koa Pete's time to shine. Jaden Bradley's time to shine. Maybe Karchenkov's taking a shot, or Doroso is going to take a shot. It's like, I will get to wherever you need me to be on the floor. I'm going to get back in transition. I'm going to fly and crash the glass, whatever Tommy Lloyd tells me to do. And I think he's going to be a really good NBA player. I'm not huge on Golden State taking like a guard here. Like I like Yaxel Lenneberg a ton to Golden State. I like a Dame Mara a ton to Golden State. But if Burries is on the board at 11, I'm sprinting to the podium and I'm making that selection. So 12, Portland going Karim Lopez. I'm getting to the point where I like Lopez right now as a prospect more than Nate Ament. Like, I think Ament could go in this range. To be honest with you, I don't hate Portland going Yaxel. Like, I know they're not immediately trying to win now. Like, well, they are trying to win now, but they're not like they have this window with Steph getting up there in age, or maybe it's like an OKC, or maybe it's like a Miami or Charlotte. Like, Portland's in a weird spot. So they could go the project on Karim Lopez where you worry about the defense right away. But hey, if he's playing out there with Tamani Kamara, he's playing out there with Donovan Clingan, I could work with that. It fits the track record mocking this because of the Hansen Yang pick last year. I mean, Yaxel is just what, like he's 18 right now. Yaxel's going to be like 24 next year. There's like a 5-6 year gap between Yaxel and Karim Lopez, which is crazy. So like, what's the player Lopez could be at 24? Could he actually be a Franz Wagner type comp that they're making it out? Maybe. I mean, Mike Schmidt's like their assistant GM, who actually I think recently got suspended and fined for tampering with Hansen Yang a couple years ago when he was not draft eligible, which they can't do. Like Sean Marks can't go and talk to Darren Peterson or something like that until they get drafted or the interviews. I don't hate it. I think I would go Lopez over Nate Ament in my updated big board as well. I have a lot of question marks about Nate Ament, and I worry about a lot of environments for Nate Ament. Like if Nate Ament is a Sacramento King, I am petrified about his NBA career. Lopez, though, I think would work in Portland. I would look at, I mean, if you didn't take Yang last year, I could be on a Demara, but you could view that as a sunk cost. I like Lopez. I like Lenneberg for this team. I don't actually even hate Isaiah Evans or Dalen Swain. It might be a little bit high. So Yaxel goes to the Miami Heat. I think there was a recent report that they liked Lenneberg. I'm cool with this if you're going to actually make some drastic changes. Like if I'm watching Yaxel Lenneberg, Norman Powell, Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, and Andrew Wiggins next year, it's not going to move me that much. I do think you have a limited ceiling with that core. Now, if you make a big swing, I think if you trade away like Hero for assets or you let Norman Powell walk and you're realizing like, all right, we're going to reassess this whole core, then I don't really like Yaxel as much because I do think his 4 most valuable years in his career will be the next 4 under his rookie contract. Like you're kind of drafting Karim Lopez for what he's going to be last 2 years of the rookie deal, first couple of years of the rookie extension. You're taking Yaxel for him to be the most valuable bang for your buck the next 4 years. What's the Heat's window for the next 4 years? And I assume if they get Giannis or somebody like that this offseason, they're trading away this pick. Maybe they trade for Ja. Then sure, let's get Yaxel in there. Or if they trade for a point guard, sure. Maybe there's a sell high candidate we don't know about in the offseason. But if they're trading like, I don't know. If they're running back this core, I don't really like this pick that much for them. Memphis going Nate Ament. It's one of the spots that I could live with because they have 2 first-round picks. So it's like, all right, we're getting, who did they get earlier? Flemings, I believe, and Nate Ament. You're getting Flemings and Ament. You're getting, I guess, more of a developmental guy who probably needs to spend time with the Rip City, or no, they're not the Rip City, the Hustle, whatever the G League team is. I trust what Zach Fleeman has done developing. I threw his name out, their main decision maker, in my Bulls GM target tweet because he is from Chicago. Just keep an eye on that. I just wonder if there could be, and like an extension thing, could he interview? I don't know really how that could work, but keep an eye on it. But Memphis is going to, I think, still preach development. They're probably going to trade Ja. So you have Ament, Edie, Coward, I guess Flemings for this mock, still GG Jackson, Jalen Wells, some other guys you're developing going forward. I think it's a good spot for him to grow. I don't think he's going to have any really that many productive moments next year. He might not even have any productive moments in 2028. But if you can figure out his role, if he can turn into an elite shooter for somebody at his size, then this could be a home run swing. I don't really trust the downhill attacking. I don't really trust the physicality right now. He can get to the free throw line because of his like huge wingspan. So he's just getting slapped all over the place. He's got to be more aggressive. And I don't know if he's ever going to become more of like a dunker and more like a dominant player down low. 15, OKC takes a Demara. I mocked this as well. I was like, F it. Like you have back-to-back picks here. I took a Demara with one of them. Hardenstein is either gone. Perfect. We bring in a Demara, NBA ready, good passer, which they like in Hardenstein. You would have J. Will, Mara, a returning Thomas Sorber, Chet. You got plenty of guys that could play the 5. But even if you bring back Hardenstein, Sorber's coming off a torn ACL. Are you going to extend Hardenstein? Hardenstein's also been injured his 2 years in OKC a ton. Why not take a Demara? You can never have enough big men in this league, and you can definitely run some very fun lineups out there with a Demara at the 4 or the 5. But you could make an argument for Quaidance. He goes 16 to Charlotte. I also believe I had this in my mock. It's an upside swing on Quaidance. I don't mind Charlotte going with Quaidance either because you have Kalkbrenner, you have Diabate. You're going to have financial flexibility to add another big man this offseason if you wanted to. You could be a little bit more patient with Quaidance, but if this guy could turn into the player we saw at Arizona State, this is the steal of the draft for what he can be as a rim protector because he's not like a 7'1" massive guy out there, but he's a great athlete. You try to like switch him, like you're trying to get a quicker guard on him out of the pick and roll. It's not going to matter. He moves so well laterally, even off the ACL tear from what I saw. It's just like, all right, tore his ACL, played 4 games this year, dealt with recurring injuries. How is that evaluation going to look like? Koa Pete going to OKC. I don't like this that much for OKC. I just don't feel like Koa Pete makes a lot of sense for what they're building, or not what they're building, but like what their identity is and what their style is. How does like Koa Pete out there with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? You are not worrying about Koa Pete on the perimeter. We are blitzing Shai. We are double teaming Shai. We're double teaming J-Dub. I just don't think Pete can stay out there with Hardenstein. He can't stay out there with a Demara. It's just like he's a non-shooter right now. He's a fine mid-range shooter. That's not going to cut it when you're playing at the highest level for the best team in the NBA. I also think he could go back to school. I think he needs a developmental year, and maybe OKC is a good spot for him too, because he can ride the bench, learn from some of the best right now, and maybe develop somewhat of an outside jumper. 18, Charlotte, Thomas Houck. Kind of hate this. I'm lower on Thomas Houck. I don't really like his fit at the NBA level. I do think Charlotte should look to add wings in this draft. I would take a chance on Dame Sarr. I know it's a little bit risky. I would take a chance on Allen Graves, Dalen Swain, Amari Allen over Thomas Houck. Is he going to be a good three-point shooter? That's a big question mark as well. I wonder how he's going to do in his workouts. Hans Steinbeck going a little bit lower here to Toronto at 19. Toronto should probably be on the center board, center or point guard in this class. Steinbach, if he falls to 19, I like that a lot for them. Steinbach, Gungba could be a potential pick for them. Bennett Sturts is still on the board. Christian Anderson, one of those guys. 20, San Antonio going Cam Carr. I don't mind them getting another wing either. Like, Sell and Johnson are there. Champagne's there. Like, Harrison Barnes might not have a vital role in this team. You have Carter Bryant coming back. You don't really want to add more to the backcourt with Harper, Fox, and Castle. They do have 2 first-round picks, which, did we already talk? No, this is their first one. So, or they might only have one. Either way, you're talking about, like, maybe adding another center, like I just said, one of those guys on the board. Gungba, like Vasar, it's a little early. Badunga's going to the transfer portal. Chinelu, a little high maybe as well. Cameron Carr, though, is probably like one of the better shot creators left on this board. Detroit taking Ibuka Korie, who I didn't have in my mock. I think he's going to... I actually don't know if he's entered the transfer portal yet. Maybe he does go into the draft. He was a great scorer this year from Stanford. A little bit smaller. That's what I'm worried about. I don't know if he's going to be as good of a passer, and his role is going to change drastically. Like, this guy is basically prime Steph Curry at Stanford this year in terms of his usage. You are not going to have that at the NBA level. So can you play defense? Can you make passing reads? Can you play off ball? Like, can you be an off ball transition runner? Are you going to be able to be an off ball player in general? Because you're not going to be as ball dominant. But I don't mind Detroit grabbing another guy in the backcourt that could shoot. Amari Allen going to the Hawks at 22. I like this a lot for them. So they're leaving this draft with Wagler and Amari Allen. I could definitely live with that. I think Amari Allen's going to be a good defender at the NBA level, good size, and was a good three-point shooter this year at 38%. Philly taking Christian Anderson. So we're basically trading Jared McCain for Christian Anderson, sure. Anderson did enter the NBA draft. I don't think he's going back to school anymore. And I do think this is the range he will go in. Another smaller guard in some ways, but is a great shooter. Probably a top 5 shooter in this draft. A good passer as well. I like him more than Ibuka, who they had going earlier. Malik Thomas to the Lakers at 24. I mean, does the pro comp of Jordan Clarkson scare you? I think he's also, like, him and Cameron Carr are the best shot creators in this range. But can you trust Malik Thomas to be a good defender? Can you trust him in your specific role? Can you trust him to be a help defender? We'll see. I don't know how JJ Redick would utilize him. I'm indifferent about this pick. 25 Denver going Chris Sinak. I like that for them because he could play the 4, he could play the 5. It's an upside swing. They haven't really utilized Deron Holmes a ton off the Achilles tear. Valanciunas is up there in age. They don't love Zeke Naji. It's a good developmental spot for him as well. The Knicks at 26, Morris Johnson, who I think the Knicks could definitely look at. They need front court help. They need bruisers. They need rebounders down low. And Morris Johnson could definitely be that guy for them at number 26. Number 27, Boston getting Bennett Sturts. I mean, I love this for them. He plays slower and more methodical, but he's going to get so many good looks, and he's a good three-point shooter. This is like the exact guy they need backing up Peyton Pritchard. I think they could definitely target point guard at 27. That's great value. He should go a lot higher than 27. Dalen Swain going to the Timberwolves at 28. I love this. Like, he's immediately, I think, better than Terrence Shannon Jr. He's also like 6 years younger than Terrence Shannon Jr. as well. And I think he can go like late lottery. That's how good Dalen Swain could be at the NBA level. Great finisher around the rim. I don't think he's a point guard. I disagree with that a little bit, so I wonder if that's just a mistake. Mo Krivas going to the Cavs at 29. They could definitely look for some front court help. I could have mentioned him earlier when I was talking about the Lakers as well, because Krivas is going to be a good shot blocker, 7'2", 260. His pro comp is Zubac. And lastly, Dallas going Juke Harris here out of OKC with Aaron Wiggins as a pro comp. Side tangent, but I wonder if a team could trade for Aaron Wiggins this offseason. I feel like he's not been underwhelming for OKC this year, but they might want to save a little bit of money. What if a team would maybe offer a late first for Aaron Wiggins, early second? But Juke Harris, I think entered the draft. I don't know if he entered the transfer portal. I think he entered the transfer portal, but he can definitely test the draft waters. And I think he's right around this range as a good swingman wing. The Knicks getting Isaiah Evans at 31. I would love this. I would have loved this as a Knicks fan because I have a top 30 grade on Isaiah Evans, and it's like what they need as a three-point shooter. Patrick Gungbo to Memphis at 32. I think that's really good value as well. I'm just going to go through the second round a little bit quicker. Terrace Reed going to the Nets at 33. I think he played himself into this range with a monster March Madness run. yeah, like what's Claxton and Sharp's future on this team? They could definitely use another rotational big man. Way better as like a traditional big than Danny Wolf. Tony Yesufu, 34 to the Kings. I like this. You know what? The Kings lead this draft with a Cuff and Yesufu. These are like true like cornerbacks like at the NFL level. Like these guys are built. They're big. Like I guess the Cuff's not like a huge NBA player. He's 6'3", but he plays up on that. He looks way bigger than 6'3" out there. And Yesufu, if he can develop a 3-point shot, this is a good NBA player. But Willie, it's TBD. Luigi Suogo, who I got to watch more at MetaBasket. He's a big guy, and I think he's going to end up going in round 2. I would love to know like Jonathan Gavoni's opinion on him because he's always tapped into the international guys. Sergio Delaria played pretty well at Valencia this year. He was like a fringe top 45 guy last year. I would say that maybe hasn't changed too much this year. I wonder if he'll come over though right away. Henry Vasar to OKC, so they're ending up with Koapi, Ademara, and Vasar. I don't know if they need another center here. I'd probably go with more of a shooter. Clippers going Elijah Arenas. I'd go back to school if I was Elijah Arenas or enter the transfer portal. You're still fairly young. You had he was in a car crash, I think an MCL tear, like develop next year. 2027 draft should be weaker, and you could be a lottery pick for sure. 39, Zubi Ejiofor to the Rockets was a very fun, high-energy guy at St. John's. I think we'll probably go in this range as well. Joshua Jefferson, I have a top 30 grade on him. So Boston's ending up with Bennett Starks and Joshua Jefferson. Please no. Miami getting Alex Karaban. I actually think Karaban's going to be a fine pro. Like, I don't think he's going to be a flashy guy, but they took Pele Larson in this range a couple years ago. Karaban could be that guy. I'm not super high on Alex Condon here at 42. I wonder, can Colin go back? I don't think he can, but I could be wrong. I like Chinelu a little bit more, just more of, I think, a physical presence down low. I kind of like the Musa Diabate comp for Chinelu. Ryan Conwell to the Spurs, good 3-point shooter. Like, that could have been an earlier pick for OKC. No Dame Sar yet either. Like, I have Dame Sar like 30th on my board. 45, Braden Smith to the Magic. Welcome back, Tyus Jones to Orlando. Dash Daniels to the Kings at 46, another great defender in this draft. I mean, if the Kings lead this draft with Dash Daniels, Yesufu, and Darius Akuff, I'm going to love it. But I can't let my bias, like those are some of my favorite prospects to watch, but it might not work out for them. The Suns go down, or Trayvon Brazil at 47. I think the way he played at the end of the SEC regular season tournament, March Madness, he'll get drafted. Keyshawn Hall to the Suns at 48. Cool track record from like UCF, Auburn. Didn't work out for them this year. Could definitely get drafted for his size. Mohamed Faye to the Raptors at 49. Or Chomsky-esque. Malik Reynaud to the Nuggets at 50. Haven't really seen him on any 2-round big boards. Baba Miller to the Wizards at 51. It's a name that's been around for a while. 23 years old. Nick Martinelli, Rockets at 52. Love this. I think Martinelli should get drafted. He's got a nice push shot down low at Northwestern this year. Jaden Bradley to the Clippers at 53. Another guy that I think helped out his draft stock a ton this year. Should get drafted. Bulls go Miles Uzan at 54. Another guard. JoJo Tugler to the Pelicans. I wonder what I think my Knicks have a second rounder here. JT Toppin to the worst. JT Toppin is not going into the draft if he's the projected 56th overall pick. He's getting that oil money from Texas Tech. Kai Boswell to the Hawks at 57. Duke Miles to the Pelicans at 58. A guy I got to watch more about. Timberwolves 59, Richie Saunders. I thought did the Knicks not have a second rounder here, or did they already make that selection? And I missed it. Houston took Martinelli. Maybe the Knicks don't have a second rounder here. No, they definitely do. So maybe it's coming up. 58 Pelicans took Duke Miles. 59 Richie Saunders to the Timberwolves, and 60 the Washington Wizards select Jaron Pierre Jr. from SMU. Okay, wait. I'm pretty sure the Knicks have 3 second rounders. They 26, 31. Oh, well, this is via the Pelicans. Did they trade this one? They might have traded it in the Gershon Yabusele, Jose Alvarado trade. I guess that makes sense. So let me know what you guys think about this mock draft down below. Want to talk more about like the round 1 picks. If you did enjoy, we appreciate you dropping a thumbs up. If ESPN or The Athletic drops another one, I'd like to react to another mock draft this weekend as the NBA regular season is about to end. So stay tuned for some content. Definitely want to do like my play-in tournament predictions probably on Monday on this channel as well. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.